Hey guys, let me show you how to draw with your AutoCAD. It's simple, very simple, but you just got to pay attention to the cursor, how my cursor is going and to what I'm saying so that you can make maximum benefit out of this video for yourself. I know you're going to like it, but today we're going to draw rectangle. So I want you to follow as the cursor, moving the cursor and picking the tools that I want to use. But we're starting with the line tool, and if you can see with the cursor, that's where I'm going. I'm picking the line from there, and I'm coming to this space. The whole of this space is called GUI, that is Graphics User Interface. And in this GUI, I'm going to pick a point to put up my rectangle. I'm picking a point there, and I'm moving toward my right hand side, but something is going wrong there. Can you see? I want this line to run perpendicular to my y-axis. Yes, that's what I want. I want it to run perpendicular to my y-axis, but now as I'm moving, it's changing its orientation. So to solve this is very simple. What you simply do is go to the down part of the tools that is at the down part of your drawing of the screen. You will see the fourth one is called auto, so you simply click that auto on. That way you have activated auto, so the line now is going to run perpendicular just the way I want it to run to my x-axis, to my y-axis, sorry. So now you can see there that the line is running, but I want to have a measurement. I don't just want to draw a line, I want to have a measurement because I want to create an object at the end of this video. I want us to have an object in mind which we'll be expanding on as the next video keep coming, as the videos keep coming. We'll be expanding on it and moving to something else. But meanwhile, if you are just seeing this video, please do not forget to follow or subscribe. You can like it and also share the video so that you'll be able to see our subsequent videos that is going to come up. Yes, we have so much of package for you, but we're going to be updating you on this drawing that we want to create today, the thing we want to create now, the rectangle. So with that said, I want this drawing to have a measurement. So for me, I want it to have 120 millimeters, to be 120 millimeters. So I simply type in 120 and then click enter. So that is my 120. So I now move up, and then want it to up to that side, the right hand side, to be 90, and then click enter. And now move left, and I have to repeat 120. Why? Because I'm actually drawing a rectangle. You know, the up base and the down, the side have to be the same measurement. So now enter again, 120. I said enter, and I move down and close it where I begin. But the line tool is still active. So what do I do? Simply to deactivate the line, you go to your keyboard and press escape. Yes, that tool has been deactivated. So your cursor now is free. But there is something again. I'm trying to zoom in with my mouse. I'm trying to zoom in this drawing, but it's not moving. That is to say, I need to zoom in this my GUI. I need to enlarge my graphics user interface. So in that way, how to do it is very simple. What you do is go to your keyboard and click Z, then click space bar, then go again and click A and click space bar. So that has enlarged the GUI. It has given us a wider space to draw. So that's why you can see your drawing completely now. I'm sure you are getting the sense. You're following carefully too. So now I want to move this drawing from here because for me, it seems to be interfering with my X and Y axis that has already been programmed and keep there. So I want to move it away from there. That takes also making use of the move tool. You go up to the up side of the page, you will see this move tool. So this is where all our tools are. Yes, and we have this one to control the GUI. These are the ones to control the GUI. Those are the control panel. This one's our tool panel. So we come here, we have to take the move tool, I click on it, then I come down. I want it to move from here to that side, so I have to click anywhere I want on the GUI, then I move my cursor to the direction I want it to move. If I want to move this way, I move this way, that's to the left. But if I want it to move right, I move it to the right that way. So in that way, I've moved it and keep it there. But you know, in some drawing, you have to specify the movement. You don't just move your lines or your object. You must specify the movement of that object. So now, and I want to specify the movement of this object this time around, this way. I still highlight all the drawing. I go back to my move tool that is up there. Just follow my cursor carefully, the place where it's going. And I come here and then click there. I need to specify where I want it to move to. So I say move 60 mm. That is what I did. I've just typed in 60 and I say enter. So that has moved 60 for me. It has displayed that drawing 60 from where it was before. So that's what we have now. You can pan your GUI and move it to the direction you want, just as I'm doing now. The more you pan it, the more it becomes, the more space it gives you to work with. So now, if I'm not satisfied with the width or the size of this, my rectangle, I can still zoom it in to make it even more smaller than what you are seeing there. So what you do is still simple. Still go back to the Z spacebar, then A spacebar. You see, this time around it has reduced than what it used to be. And I can still do the same thing again to still reduce it more by going again. I said Z spacebar, A spacebar. In each of these thing I'm doing, I'm making the GUI to be bigger than what it used to be, than what it was before. So that said, let's move straight up to using other tools. So I'm going to use the offset tool to offset this rectangle. So that is the offset, you can see there. I'm picking it up. But I need to specify the measurement of the offset I want to do. So I'm saying it should give me 15. I'm using 15 to offset the up and bottom of this rectangle. So I'm using that. I'm moving inside the rectangle and I click. It has offset the up. I'm also going to do the same thing, move in to offset the down. So with that, I now said escape to disengage that offset tool. But I also want to offset the side, so but with a different measurement. So that is why I have to go back again to the offset. This time I say it should offset with 10, and I said enter. I use that to offset the left and also right. Move, just watch where my cursor is going when I'm doing that offset. So yours will not be falling outside the triangle, the rectangle, but it should fall right inside the rectangle. So I'm done with that offset work for now. So I need to disengage that tool. Remember, you simply go to the escape button and click escape. That has removed it. So that's our rectangle for now. But there is something here. You notice we are having excess because where we offset from is longer than the smaller one we're having inside. And I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be the bigger and the smaller rectangle. So I'm now going to make use of the tool that is called trim. You move again to our toolbar. I pick trim from there and then come here and then said enter. Please click enter to activate that trim. Picking it alone doesn't do the job. You must enter to activate the trim. So now it has been activated, so I use it to remove this, click on it to remove the excess. So you can do this in all of them to remove all the excess that we have there. So instead of doing it one, we can just double them up and do it as one. So that is it. I'm done with that. So I have to escape to drop that tool. Yeah, so that is it. We have gotten our rectangle, the bigger one and the small one, offset by 15 and 10. Take notes. So now, We can actually repeat what we did before to have this smaller one, to have up to 3 different rectangles right in there. And this time around, we will use what we used before, 15 and 10. So I'm going back to the offset. I pick offset again, I come. The 10 is already there. You see, the 10 is already there. So what you simply do is to say enter. If you say enter, it will maintain that 10 for you. But you take note, the way we be using the 10, we use the 10 for the side, not the top. So we offset the side again. We do the same thing this time, this side. But now we now go back and say escape. But now I still need to offset the up too with the same measurement I did before. But the 10 is still there, but I don't need the 10. So I have to type in what I want. So I need 15. I want to give me 15. I type in 15 and then say enter. So I use it now to offset the up and use it to offset the down. So you will now be having something like that. So with that, I go to escape the offset tool. Now I want to do trim to see remove what remains. Just as we did before, you pick the trim, you click enter to activate it, then use it to remove all the excess that you do not want to see here. So that's what we have gotten now of our 3 rectangles. So in these rectangles we have gotten so far, we can actually employ fillets to help us create a radius on each of these angles. Instead of all of them standing straight at angle, at this particular angle 90, we can turn it to become a curve. To achieve that, fillet tool will help us to do just that. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to pick the fillet tool. Then I type in R, that is the radius, that's what I want. I pick the fillet tool, I type in R, and I say enter. Now I type in 15 as my radius, and I say enter. That being done, I can now use it to turn this tool to become radius. So if I don't want to go again and pick that tool, I can actually use the space bar. If you click on the space bar to activate it again, then you use it for this side and this side. You can also do the same thing, still click on the space bar instead of going back to start the process all over again with the fillet. Since we are still using the same fillet for all of them. So we simply go again and do that, take this, and we do the space bar again to conclude the fold angle. So that's what you're going to have if you are following us, if you're following me carefully. That's what you're going to have at the end of this step 6. So we can also do that with the one we have inside. Yes. But this time around, I have to go back there to the fillet and type it. You first of all click R, then enter. Then this time instead of 15, we're using 7. Then you click 7 and you enter. We can use that to also work on the internal, the second rectangle, like this. Enter. Don't forget, once you have activate this and you wish to use the same number, just all you need to do is to click space bar. Once you're done with one and it goes up, you go to space bar again, click space bar, it will activate it again for you. You come here, you do the same thing. Now click space bar again, it will help you to complete that process by clicking the 2 angles. So that is what we are gradually turning our rectangle to. So you can see what it is becoming now. But now, I want us to also make use of the chamfer tool. There is a tool there that is called chamfer. And instead of curving it as in a curve, it's going to chamfer it for us. So in order for me to do that, I'm going to pick the chamfer tool and get that done. So we still go there, see the chamfer there. So the chamfer is embedded inside fillet. So don't forget, you have to click it because there's a small arrow pointing down. So you have this pop down. This pop down contains this the chamfer. So what we want to use here is chamfer. So we simply click on chamfer. And then said, you now input A and you say OK. Then it's asking you now for the figure that should be used, the measurement that should be used. I want to use 10. So we type in 10 and say OK. So we now type in 45 because we want it to turn, we want that chamfer to be at angle 45. So we now type in 45 and then say OK. So the chamfer tool is ready. Well, the program to run exactly what you want it to run. No more working on its own. So at this point, we now come to the drawing. We are doing the internal rectangle now. You pick the one side and you pick the next one. It will give you 45 angle chamfer. So if you don't want to go back to doing that process again, just click on space bar. It will activate it because you see have that measurement and all that you input in place. So you come here and you do the same thing to this side. And you can go again and say click space bar to help you do to this other side. And you click space bar again to conclude the last angle with chamfer, with 45-degree chamfer. So if you have been following carefully, this is exactly what you should have at this point. So you can save this video. Yes, you can save it so that you have a time to watch it and follow through in your own practice. And if you're doing it rightly, you definitely will achieve this. But don't forget, I said, make sure you subscribe or follow, like or share, so that you can also see our further videos. We're going to work more, we're going to develop this object you are seeing now. We'll be updating it to what we want it to look like in our next video. So do have a nice time and see you then.